Hi, everyone. I'm Ameira, and I know in my introduction we spoke about how I'm going to be talking about body image, but I'm going to be talking about numbers today. When I was born, I weighed 2.2 kgs. This went on to 10, 25, 35, 55, 67, down to 58, and even up to 75 at one point. You must be wondering why I'm talking about these random numbers. Well, all these numbers carry memories, remind me of places, feelings, and moments. I was as young as 5, 6 years old when I saw a man look at me in a way that made me feel unsafe in my body. I was 13 when I realized my breasts were larger than most girls in my class. I was 15 when I was told that my face was pretty, but the rest of me could use some work. I probably weighed 56 kgs and was 16 when I made myself throw up my food for the first time. And the first time started a journey of bulimia that lasted almost 10 years. 2016 was the year I struggled with suicidal thoughts and deep depression. And 2017 is the year I decided to get help. But this talk is not about how to overcome an eating disorder, depression, or any other body trauma and abuse. We all need to go out and get professional help and support for that. This talk is about my understanding of what we can do to overcome and break away from our collective prison of body shame, desirability, repression, and the constant quest to earn worthiness. How do we, individually and collectively, work towards body liberation and bodily autonomy? I'm going to start answering this question with a little story. I run a small collective called the Unmute Files. And as part of that collective, we run body liberation workshops with young women. So there's a specific slide I put up during each workshop in the 18 to 25 age cohort. It reads, "Please raise your hand if you know what vaginismus is. Please raise your hand if you know what Viagra is." This slide is usually followed by some uncomfortable murmur. And then you have almost 80% of the attendees raise their hands for the Viagra question. And an odd 2-3 people raise their hand for the vaginismus question. Let me explain why this is strange and a huge problem. In multiple groups of women that have been asked these questions, most of them don't know that vaginismus is an involuntary tensing of the vagina that can cause a problem with penetration, a sexual dysfunction that can affect many people with vaginas. But most of them know the name of one drug that helps people with penises improve erectile function. This small activity raises a much larger question. How will we ever feel comfortable in our bodies when we are rarely exposed to information around it and are rarely encouraged to be curious about it? The access and research around bodies is extremely gendered and patriarchal, and that is where the problem begins. The theme for today is a spark within, but I'm really going to talk about how we can use all our sparks to collectively ignite change. I'll be covering a few checkpoints for us to do this work collectively. The first is that to work towards body liberation, we need to look and engage with our bodies with a sense of curiosity and wonder. Let me explain that more. I recently spoke to this young woman on my podcast about menstruation, and she runs the small menstrual cup company. And she was talking about how she's so fascinated by her body during menstruation. She finds the different shades of blood and the textures fascinating. I was taken aback, but also intrigued. I realized, especially as women, there is so much silence around our bodies that we don't grow up looking at our bodies with pleasure, curiosity, and love. Secondly, most information spaces where we learn about our bodies only tell us facts and figures. You'll read and be taught about menstrual hygiene, the different contraceptions to use, what different terms mean, what is consent. But there is no space or conversation around all the unsaid things. I feel scared to look at my naked body in the mirror. I feel icky around menstrual blood. Can I understand how this particular situation could be non-consensual? So this checkpoint is absolutely key. Build and nurture formal and informal spaces where compassion takes center stage, and not only comprehension, where vulnerability, stories, asking questions, unpacking shame, and holding space for each other is the teacher, and comprehension is not the only goal. This needs to be done in schools, in homes, in groups of friends, everywhere actually. I promise I have only 2 more points. Thirdly, when we talk about body liberation and bodies, a self-realization I had was that if I wanted to really, truly reach radical body acceptance and liberation, I had to start understanding and unlearning more about the world of body oppression I live in, and how some of those oppressions are internalized and even perpetuated by me. Now, I can't see everyone's expressions, but I'm sure people must be saying, I don't oppress people's bodies. I'm very open, I'm accepting, I'm kind. Well, oppressions aren't really always overtly mean. They can be microaggressions, such as generalization of people with disabilities, casteist comments, unsolicited diet and health advice cloaked in concern for the fat person. You can only be convinced that your body is adequate and worthy if you start seeing all bodies that way. So interrogating and unpacking our biases towards other people and other bodies is when true body freedom will be collectively achieved. And finally, my last checkpoint. From a young age, we are expected to earn worthiness. You're asked to perform song and dance for aunties and uncles and are dressed in a way to get praise and adoration. This little bug that's planted at a young age starts growing and slowly starts building into us viewing our worth and desirability based on other people's experiences of us. They call me pretty, so I must be pretty. Someone else's positive or negative experience with us and our bodies makes us categorize ourselves into a box and makes us aim to always look and act the right way. This structure of comparison and external validation that is only becoming worse with social media is a structure where body shame thrives. I want us to explore how can we validate our bodies regardless of what forces larger than us might be telling us about desirability, beauty, and survival. That's the work that needs to be done, slowly, at our individual pace, without any judgment. I'm still unearthing, exploring, learning, and unlearning when it comes to my own body. I need these checkpoints too. I need the constant reminder that my body is my body, that no partner, no parent, no friend, no faith, no gender, no sexuality has claim to it. This is for anyone who, like me, has struggled with connecting with their body and needs to be reminded that who their bodies are, exactly as they are, is valuable. So every morning when you wake up, close your eyes, take a deep breath into your body, take a moment to be present, and once again, start this amazing journey of curiosity, vulnerability, and wonder all over again. Thank you.